to News 8. It's Friday, May 6th, and it is going to be a scorcher, 63 degrees, so no needing to sit by this fireplace today. Hey Kristen, can you hear me now? Good. Hello, today I'm here with two advocates for cell phone use in the classroom. Please join me with welcoming Kristen and Courtney. Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Doing good, thank you. Good. So Kristen, I hear you're for the use of cell phones in the classroom. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Of course, I am for the use of cell phones because my students are creating short movies. They are recording poems and readings that we do in class to review when they get home. We do time experiments. They access the web through it, so I don't always have enough computers for my students, but they can do it through their smartphone. And most important, what I think is they're setting homework reminders because my students don't always remember to bring home their planners and all their notebooks, so they're setting it on their phone because they're more likely to take their phone home. And we're using apps to enhance their learning.
And what is this app?
It's short for application, and through the iPhone or any smartphone, you can set your phone to an app setting where, actually in my classroom, we have used it for insect identification. So we take a picture of an insect that we find outside, and we get a text back that says all of the information that I guess anybody knows on this. We've used it for math. My students use it as a way of connecting to each other. They can put stuff on a blog online and they can talk like at home, and it's another resource instead of a textbook to learn what they might not be learning at school. They can go back to it and relearn or learn more.
Very interesting and intriguing. I'm curious to learn more about that. What are your thoughts on this, Courtney?
Well, I think you bring up a lot of good points, and there are some good uses for cell phones. But my question is, why do you need cell phones for that? It sounds like a lot of what you're doing with your cell phones or smartphones is just for using the internet and that type of stuff. Couldn't you use the same things just with a computer?
Actually, if it's okay, I would like to intervene right there. There's some statistics found that nearly 2/3 of 8 to 18-year-olds already have a cell phone. And in our low-income schools in Grand Rapids, we're finding that students don't have the web available at home, and the schools do not have enough profit to allow every student to have a computer. So using a resource that they already have would benefit the student as well as the school because you wouldn't have to purchase something more. And they're already familiar with it. It's just a different way of using the same resource must be taught.
Okay. But don't you find that cell phones are a distraction in your classroom? Are they ever ringing? Because that's what I find in my classroom. Often cell phones are going off or the kids aren't paying attention because they're texting their friends. I just think that cell phones are they disrupt the classroom more than they help.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that at all. There is times when cell phones go off inappropriately in our class, but I think if you set a strong foundation for how we're going to use this resource, and you set it right from the beginning, students usually learn, and I've actually heard that this engages them more than a normal textbook, and they're more interested in learning because they're using the cell phone. So I think that the benefits outweigh the negatives that may be seen.
Let me stop you right there. Is there a way you can collect cell phones when they're not using them, or is that against your school?
We do not do that at our school. We like to keep the trust policy in the hands of the student. We trust that they're responsible, that they'll take care of their cell phone. But I think that would definitely be beneficial. The cell phones could be collected, set right on the teacher's desk, and handed back when you're going to do activities during the day.
And what about cheating? Do you see that happening through an iPhone or a smartphone?
What type of cheating are you referring
Like
to?
on tests. Do you keep them out for tests, or?
No, the students are not allowed to use their iPhone, at least in my classroom, during tests because, like you said, cheating is such a possibility for them just to Google it now these days. But I guess it's easy, if you know what's happening, as a teacher, if you know what's happening in your classroom, it's easy to see that a cell phone is out or to see that it's in their lap. I think you just, as a teacher, need to be aware of what might be happening in your classroom.
So you're using it more as exploration and not for testing them.
Exactly. We're using it during activities to enhance maybe the resources that the school does not have at this point.
Good. And Courtney, are you from a higher income school or a low income school?
We are from a higher income school, but we still don't see the need to give cell phones to all our students. We can use the computers, but there's also other ways that we can learn. I just feel like cell phones create more of a problem. I know that there was a school in British Columbia where a fight club started, and then they uploaded the fight through their cell phones, and then that news just spread. So I feel like cell phones really help spread rumors in school too, and they can create cyberbullying, stuff like that. It's just a lot easier to pick on students through cell phones, and it's harder to trace where that's all coming from.
And I understand those points, but my thought is there are cell phones already allowed in the hallway. I mean, you aren't allowing cell phones in your classroom, but I'm assuming that children are allowed or students are allowed to check their cell phones in between classes. So what stops them from doing the cyberbullying or the fight club while they're in the hallway, or, you know, I guess for the younger children while they're at recess? Or where's the limit? And are you banning cell phones altogether? Like they aren't allowed to take them into your school?
Well, I don't think it's really good to have cell phones in school because there really is no purpose in that. But just from getting it out of the classroom too, if a student says something in the classroom, maybe that was a little silly or maybe what some kids would call a dumb comment, I think it would be a lot easier for the students in the class to text their friends and say, oh, he or she said this and it was so funny. I can't believe they did that. But if it was, if they don't have the cell phones in the class, they might forget about that incident when they get in the hall. I just feel like there's less opportunity then to spread the rumors if you don't have it in the classroom.
Do you think that there's a way to eliminate the cell phone service for calling and texting, but in keeping the internet on the phones or being able to use the applications?
I think that would be a really good idea. So that's why I think that those tools are really good, but I just don't understand why they have to be used in the cell phone.
Yep.
So yeah, if there's a different technology,
What
that's
makes it
not
different?
a cell phone.
What makes it different from a computer then?
It would be smaller than a computer, like you said, and it could be cheaper than a computer. So those are some benefits there.
All right, but then again, I think if you set a strong structure in your classroom and your students know what their responsibility is, I think there's that trust level between you and your students that makes the ability to use cell phones possible.
And I would love to have that trust level in my classroom too, but there are just some students who can't handle that.
What if you guys switch places for a day and try each other person's side of view? Courtney, you can see how it is useful in a classroom, following everything Kristen does. And you can take Courtney's place and see how it goes. Would you guys be willing to try that for an experiment for our station?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would be interesting to see.
And just remember that there are good uses of everything when in moderation. So we have to see both sides of things. Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.